Good news you can use when you have a phone, yeah. She got the good news you can use. Good news you can use for your wearing.
Before I do kind of end this call, I do want to ask you, what are your thoughts about the critical race theory? Do you think it's too controversial, or do you just think this is something that white people just don't want the whole people to know about? What are your thoughts?
First of all, let me ask you a question. How can the truth be controversial? I don't get it.
Oh,
There's
girl.
nothing wrong with the truth. I mean, just tell the
white people.
but they need to tell the truth, and they need to accept the truth, because it's just the truth. Until we accept the truth, what we ain't doing them but going in circles anyway.
The truth according to whom?
That's interesting.
The truth according to whom?
Well, that's Patrick Moynihan's.
According to what really happened.
You can have your own opinion, but you can't have your own facts. I kind of live in the truth is the truth, but that's my training as a scientist, which is my background. There is the truth. There are interpretations, but there is, what really happened.
And who writes the truth?
Who writes? The winners write their interpretation of what happened, and that becomes the record. But what happens?
Well, the bottom line is we can clearly see systemic racism.
Oh, absolutely.
But however, things that happened in the past, I mean, they're well-documented things. The things are well documented. The race riot. I mean, it wasn't no race riot. It was not
a race riot. See, that's the thing. You see how that it was not a race riot. They went in and destroyed the community. It was no race. The black people didn't rise up and say, okay, well, we're gonna take but that is how it's always been fed to us, that it was a race riot, and it was not. We have been fed forever a history that's been written based on some white supremacy.
It's white supremacy. That's the alpha and omega of all of it, going back to 1690.
And that's the society we're in.
And they are terrified of the truth.
Well, you know what, Bruce?
Because part of it's unearned privilege. Part of it's shame. I think I like to pretend that more white people are capable of shame, but sometimes I wonder if they really are. Frankly.
I like what you said, the unearned privilege. I like that term. And that's what it is. And they are worried about it being destroyed.
Right.
Because that
they
means
know they can't.
Yeah, their history now is being shaken. Oh, the shame of it. I heard on Fox News, I was listening to the radio, and I go back and forth between NPR, Fox Radio, and
actually listen to that.
Yeah, I have to.
You have to. You got to hear how the other half of the world thinks.
I'm sorry, but I can't make myself listen.
I will sit there and I'll get to the point where I'll listen to so much Fox News that I won't watch mainstream news, because I have to know the extreme. I've got to know the extreme right, because that's the only way I can process everything else and make sense of it and have meaningful conversation with people, so that I can keep it neutral, so that I don't inject.
Well, how can I had people that watch Fox News are the most uninformed people in the world.
What?
Because they want to hear their point of view.
Right.
But that's the point, is that it is no longer now you got to remember how Fox came about and who gave them their license. I mean, Rupert Murdoch is just, to me, if you ask me now, I'm sorry, he's just scum with money. That's just my opinion.
About the money again.
But the thing is, Reagan gave him the license, and they did not get a license for news.
No,
right.
And they
that's what they constantly try to push out is news, and they
will tell you
know it's lies, And my thing is that should be against the. Oh, I'm about to curse here. That should be against the law.
Absolutely.
That should not be lawful in a democracy that you can just willfully tell lies.
That's true. I agree. I'm with you.
They crouch it by calling it entertainment.
That's how they get around it.
News, which means it's neither fact or fiction.
But we know it was the #1 watched news program in the United States. But I'm gonna tell you what we need to pay attention to. Whenever you go into any government office, most of them have their TV, especially
on Fox News.
They got their stuff on Fox News.
That is true.
That's pushing propaganda. That means when I go in there, I raise a fit. I'm like, well, I'm a taxpayer too. I don't like what you're doing. You need to change this. If you're gonna put CNN or put something on there that's just a little more objective. I don't care about for CNN, but at least they're a little bit more objective. My thing is,
I watched that in my father's house.
Look at
Man, I laugh at that one. OAN. Oh man,
I have never seen that.
One is, if you start looking,
save yourself, it's too late for us.
With the journalism and those that studied journalism, like Beverly, and my minor was journalism, and I'm telling you, the reporters that we have out here now, I don't know how they got away with it. And I want to say, what school did you come out of?
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right.
Good news you can use for your life.